Actually, I was talking this whole time, and it was on mute, so I look like an idiot right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. What's up, Miss Ramirez? Thank you. I know, right? I was over here just talking, yapping away and everything. I was trying to look for this Kevin Knight, Nick Wayne match from New Japan, and I was trying to find it, and y'all caught me in mid look. I was looking for it and everything. So I appreciate that. Good looking out, Mr. Ramirez. Welcome, everyone. What's good with y'all? Welcome to another episode of the 23rd hour. I am your host, Mr. Maurice D. Prophet. Yes, indeed. It is Saturday night here. And with that being said, it is Saturday night's main event. So, of course, we had to jump on tonight and be able to, kind of like dabble into some of this, some of the goodness that happened tonight. Where was the goodness at? I have no idea. If you know where it was at, and if you're able to find it, let me know because I'm still looking for it. Because that show that show happened. Oh man, but we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that, few other things and all that good stuff and everything. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing good. Happy Memorial Day weekend as well too. This is a great, kind of like the official jumpstart, kickoff to summertime, especially summertime in Chicago and everything. So, definitely a big deal. A lot of barbecues that are happening today, a lot of cookouts, all that good stuff and everything. People are outside, like just being outside, being alive, and being out and about. I passed by I passed by a couple cookouts today. I passed by a cookout that was all white folks, and I couldn't smell nothing. So I was like wondering what the hell was going on. But yeah, I guess we're having bratwurst. I'm just playing. I miss playing. It's all jokes, all love over here and everything, all that good stuff. But it's Memorial Day weekend, and obviously many of us are going to have a 3 or 4 day weekend that's happening right now. So enjoy your time with your friends, your family, for yourself, your dogs, whomever and everything. Relax. Actually be able to relax and enjoy your time off and everything if you can. But also at the same time, make sure that you recognize a reason why we even have a Memorial Day this weekend, and that is for our fallen soldiers and our men and women from the military who have given their lives to protect us and our freedoms and our rights in this country. And everything. And just remember also as well too, the first Memorial Day recognition was done by the black soldiers from the from the Civil War. So this was so they were the ones who created a memorializing tribute to those who were fallen, to those black soldiers who were fallen and everything. So it's just one of those things where it's really important to remember where this actually stem from. So happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Hope you all are well, enjoying your Saturday night. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of everything, I kind of want to talk about the subject that's been on the table for the last day or so when it comes to WrestleMania. So I'm pretty sure by now you all have heard the news that WrestleMania 42. Originally, it's supposed to be taking place in New Orleans of the spring of 2026. That was announced back in February by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, letting us all know that next year's WrestleMania will emulate from New Orleans. But the times, right? This would have been the third time that WrestleMania would have been taking place in New Orleans. I had the pleasure and the honor of being able to go to the first time they were there for WrestleMania 40. Sorry, WrestleMania 30, my apologies. And then they came back for WrestleMania 34, I believe so, in New Orleans 4 years later. That was good to know. And to be honest with you, I've been to 5 WrestleManias, and that one probably was the best like getaway holiday vacation I was able to have at a WrestleMania, because you had right down the street from the Superdome, Bourbon Street. And that atmosphere, that vibe, just how everything is a party 24/7 is unmatched. And granted, I understand like Vegas last year as well too, kind of had that same element as well too. But something about Bourbon Street, if you've ever been in New Orleans, is just a whole totally different animal. that you cannot compare anywhere else. I mean, like, it really is like genuine love that's encapsulated in that city, in that surrounding area, where the people, the locals, they want you to be there. They want you to immerse into the culture. They want you to be one with them when it comes to celebrating what that city is all about. So hearing the news that WrestleMania 42 was going to be taking place in New Orleans, big deal, right? Pretty exciting, and people are like, "Great! Now I have a definitive excuse to be in New Orleans next year," which is fantastic, right? Of course, who doesn't want to go to the Big Easy? You know what I'm saying? Then Thursday happens, and just to recap, just in case you don't know what I mean by this, Thursday happens, and what I mean by that is that we get this announcement that, well, first it was an announcement saying that WrestleMania could be, teasing the idea of being an international entity sometime soon. We don't know when. And so a lot of people in the comments, when that was going around, were saying, yeah, we kind of were able to kind of put two and two together and see it was going in that direction, especially with the relationship that WWE has established with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So we kind of knew that. And then probably like an hour later, the news broke out that WrestleMania 42 would no longer take place in New Orleans. And now it's looking to come back to Las Vegas. And they are going to be doing pretty much what they did for WrestleMania 4 and 5 by returning back to the place where it was the previous year. As a lot of the old school fans know, WrestleMania 4 was in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and in Felon 47's casino, Trump Casino, and then they came back the next year for WrestleMania 5, which, from a storyline standpoint, made sense. If you want to be on some old school booking, long-term storytelling type stuff, it kind of made sense for that to happen because, okay, rewind. We're gonna do a little history lesson, guys. Little history time, real quick. I know the kids are all like, I gotta hear about old shit. So WrestleMania 4 was the tournament for the vacated world championship, WWF championship. Macho Man Randy Savage won the tournament and he won the world title. And at WrestleMania 4, he celebrated in the ring with Elizabeth and that idiot Hulk Hogan. And so they celebrated all that good stuff and everything like that. Went on to form the Mega Powers. They became a dominant tag team through, for the rest of 1988. And then coming into 1989, the Mega Powers split up. And now Hogan, Savage going after the title back at Trump Plaza for WrestleMania 5. So that's why it was like a full circle and it made sense. So it was like, okay, gotcha. This right here is WWE being like, all right, New Orleans cool, but damn, Vegas talking all this money, this money game to us. And if somebody talking money game to us, we over here listening. Now, granted, I understand business is business, and you're gonna follow the money. That's what they always say. Whenever you have questions, if you want the answers, follow the money. That's always like the rule of thumb in business. So I understand, I get that. But what really kind of trips me out though is like, dang, y'all really made an announced decision though. That's what trips me out. Y'all made an announced decision to host, to announce that you are going to have WrestleMania 42 in New Orleans. Now, my thing is this though. It's like, if you know me, I have a very sensitive, direct connection, but a very embedded place in my heart when it comes to local and small businesses. I am all about trying to champion the proverbial underdog when it comes to business, and in every kind of way, every way how I possibly can, I try to do my best to be able to elevate those who are in those positions. And I feel that when Mania when WWE announced that Mania 42 was going to be in New Orleans, if you're a small business owner and you have a shop that's on the strip, that's on Bourbon Street, that's around the area, that's in the that's in the Sixth Ward, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if in the New Orleans area, you hear that news, and the only thing you're thinking about is, oh my God, let me get my inventory right, let me get my numbers right, let me get my staffing right, let me make sure we are good. So this way, next spring of 2026, we are out there, we're selling our stuff. We are going to see numbers beyond our imagination. We're going to hit record sales, record revenue, all that good stuff and everything. We can eat really good after that, because one thing is for sure, despite WWE's flaws, they will create an economic impact on your area. So absolutely. So you are going to want to be able to benefit from those benefit from that entirely. So of course you start planning, and we're talking about this was back in February. So February, March, April, May. We're in 4 months with that knowledge of knowing that just next year we are going to see quite possibly the greatest type of income in our lives, with our company. And we might be able to elevate our company to a whole other level, and a whole other tax bracket. There's a lot of possibilities, that can come about this. And then to hear that, oh, sorry guys, we ain't coming no more. We not. We good. We cool. Good looking out though. Appreciate it, but nah, we good. We going back over here to Vegas, where they don't really need us that much. They don't necessarily need us per se. But the money's there. We're going there. And like I said, I preface it by saying I understand the economics. I get it. When you talk about a big bag over here versus a little bag over here, you're going to the big bag. But damn, you made a promise to the little bag over here, though. You know what I mean? So I just feel like when it comes to the integrity, that was the lack thereof, I should say, the lack of integrity, it really was highlighted this week. And I'm just like, damn. And I told someone in the mid-card mess too, I was like, I really feel bad for the small businesses that really truly were relying on its potential record-setting profits that these small businesses can make. I mean, imagine yourself right now. Let's say you owned a nice cool coffee shop that was near, maybe not necessarily on Bourbon Street, because I'm pretty sure it's kind of hard. It's probably hard to open up a new joint there. But I'm just saying though, maybe a block away or something like that. A couple blocks away. But you're still on, what was that, 8th Avenue that Bourbon Street crosses with? I think it's called 8th Avenue or something like that. But you're still on that strip. But you got a coffee joint, whatever like that. It's cool, you know what I'm saying? You play good music and it's a good vibe and all good stuff and everything. Bro, that could have just put you into a whole different stratosphere. That's what I'm saying. You hear that news, oh, sorry, so bad, too bad, so sad. What do you think to yourself? And then, but what makes matters even worse, though, they say, okay, we're not going to give you Mania, but we're going to give you Money in the Bank. What? You give it but the thing is though, it's not even another big four. It's not a Royal Rumble. It's not a Survivor Series. It's not a SummerSlam. It's a freaking Tier C pay-per-view. Okay, and you were talking about how do you go from Mania to we're talking Money in the Bank now? Come on, man. That doesn't balance out. But I feel like there would have been some there would have been a line of equity though. It would have been a little more equitable had they went from WrestleMania to Royal Rumble, perhaps. Maybe they said we will bring the Royal Rumble to New Orleans. Then I think it's okay, we got some there because the Royal Rumble already has a draw just from the actual match itself. The match itself is what draws people into you, into the pay-per-view, and people will travel for that because the Royal Rumble is the one time it's an interactive show with the audience. and people draw to that. So, and the last time the Royal Rumble has been in New Orleans, I believe, was for 2001. So that would have been kind of like a cool little thing right there too, as well. Too, they talk about that would have been what 25 years, 25-year anniversary since being in New Orleans. It's the Royal Rumble, and the Royal Rumble 2001 is one of the best Royal Rumbles of all time. So that you kind of hitch off that. I feel like that would have been much more of a trade-off, but we're talking about Money in the Bank, and I think not even is going to be next year's or 2027. One or two, I can't remember. But yeah, they're talking about Money in the Bank is going to be there instead. So I'm just like, wow, that's wild. Yeah, that's wild. So yeah, so on some integrity type stuff, I wasn't feeling that. I didn't think that was kind of that was cool at all. But we're gonna do, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, we're gonna do. But yeah, it looks like it's going back to Vegas. So expect to be paying if you want to go to WrestleMania next year. If it is out, it's not officially locked in, but that's like it's the direction where it's going. But if you are looking to go back to Vegas for WrestleMania, expect to take out a home equity loan on your house, probably another 45 grand that you're going to have to take out if you want to get tickets to sit in section 200. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what, pretty much what they were running for. I don't know who in the hell did they price those tickets for, but it's sure not for my broke ass, goddammit. I just came to the realization that I'm just never going to go to a WrestleMania for the rest of my life ever again. Unless I fall ass backwards into some like oil money or some shit, then that's not happening ever again. There was once upon a time where you can get a really, really, really great ticket at WrestleMania for, damn it, like $100 for real. Like when I went to WrestleMania 23, I got two tickets. I got two tickets for like $140. They were like $70 each. It was something stupid like that, and it was a cool seat. It wasn't bad at all. It was a Ford Field. The Ford Field's big as hell. That's a big ass stadium. So so you can understand. But it was still, it was still dope though. That's what I'm saying though. Like you can't afford it anymore. So I don't know. I guess if you can't afford it, it doesn't really matter where they go because you're gonna be there anyway. You know what I mean? Or you're just gonna break yourself. I bet you I would love, bro. Seriously, I would love to talk to some of the people who went to WrestleMania right now, who went to WrestleMania this year, and I'm like, seriously, how bad are you in the red when it comes to your bank account? Like, how bad are you in the red? Like, are you like still trying to are you still eating that loss? Are you still eating oodles and noodles because you can't afford real food? Are you still eating air, for dinner because like you can't go to the grocery store? Because damn, like what y'all paid for WrestleMania this year was ridiculous, and the return of investment was not there because that show was trizash. So yeah, so we already see what a $45,000 ticket gets you, and it ain't that great, baby. It ain't that great. And speaking of things being not that great, let's talk about Saturday Night's Main Event. Oh man, bro, this show right here was the drizzling shits. What the hell was that, bro? Oh man, we're gonna talk about it, y'all. We're gonna talk about it, but I want to hear your thoughts, your feelings, your feedback when it comes to the WrestleMania situation. Them moving it from from New Orleans to Vegas. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think it's a great move? Why do you think it's a great move? Do you think it's a bad move? Why do you think it's a bad move? But drop that in the comments. Let's talk about it. Drop it in the comments, in the playback as well too. Let's talk about it. But I'm very curious to hear what you guys were thinking when it comes to WrestleMania 42 being moved from New Orleans as promised, now back to Las Vegas once again. So it's gonna be interesting to hear how that goes. But let's talk about it. Saturday night's main event, right? So the show opens. I'm not gonna lie, I did not see the previous Saturday night's main event from some months ago, but I heard on the playback. I saw some playback the next day of some of the commentary that Justin Ventura was doing, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" Like Jesse over here talking that shit. Okay, I'm liking that. It's always good to have like a very authentic element in this modern version of WWE, just because there's a lot of things in this modern version of WWE that's very inauthentic. So when you have an authentic element that's implemented into the mix of things, it makes it so much more palatable because it doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel artificial. And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that though. Originally, to be honest with y'all, I wasn't even gonna do the stream tonight. I had other plans, but I had some BS happen that kind of completely steered me in a different direction. I'm not gonna go into those details. If you know, you know. But I was like, okay, since I'm gonna be here at the crib, let me turn on to the next main event. Cool. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that's I can make up. Oh yeah, this is the match. Okay. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you know, we can go from there or whatever like that. So yeah, so that's I put myself in the position. I was able to put myself in the position where I was able to kind of take advantage and make things a little bit better. And I was like, and I can check out VR. So I mean, that's a win-win. You know what I mean? But yeah, but let's talk about it. So the show opens up. I'm very nitpicking with this one right here, right? So they did this montage, right, of showing like all these old school Saturday Night main events, moments and everything like that. They showed the clip when Shawn Michaels won the IC championship. Here's the thing. I know I'm nitpicking. Please let me be petty. Please let me be an a-hole right now. But I really want to nitpick at this so I can be a dork. But Shawn Michaels did not win the IC championship at Saturday Night's main event. He won the IC championship, the Intercontinental Championship from the British Bulldog on Friday, the Friday night main event. It wasn't Saturday night's main event. It was the Friday night main event. And it came on October of 1992. He faced the British Bulldog. Oh, wait, was it September? It was either October or September of 1992. He beat the Bulldog for the belt. But it was a Friday night's main event. It wasn't Saturday night. So that's how I was like, ooh, y'all wrong! Ooh, wrong! I know. I'm like, Maurice, shut up the dork. I'm like, I know. What are you going to do? So yeah, so they got that wrong. All right? They got that wrong. But they opened up with a montage. Y'all know me. I'm old school to the core. So it was nice seeing all like the old school clips and all that good stuff and everything. So that was cool to see and everything like that. All that good stuff. Ventura opened up with that dude. What's the dude's name? The dude who commentates on SmackDown. He's got that like that very broadcaster like voice. I kind of see why WWE likes him. Just because like he's got like that very and now what's going to happen next? That we're going to see. Like he's got that very smooth, classic like voice, like classic 80s like sports broadcast type voice. I kind of see where they see in him. I can't remember the homeboy's name though. I don't really watch SmackDown that much, but I know if I hear it. But they had them two open up the show. Ventura was up there rocking a Malcolm X. You want to talk about 1990, baby? 1992. He was wearing that Malcolm X hat. I'm like, oh hell yeah! Now y'all remember back in the day when everybody and mama, even the white boys, when they were wearing the Malcolm X hats back in the day and shit, it was just an X. You know what I mean? So I'm sure. I bet you Triple H is back there like, hey, Sean, why is Ventura wearing that WrestleMania 10 hat on his head? This dumbass. But yeah, man, Ventura rocking the Malcolm X hat. I see you, man. I see you, Ventura. We're gonna talk about you too, for real, man. Because honestly, truthfully, you were the highlight of the show tonight. You were. Justin the Body Ventura, you were the highlight of tonight's show, and I appreciate everything you brought into the tonight's show. But we're gonna touch on that later on in tonight's broadcast in the 23rd hour. But let's go on to it. Now, match number one was the tag match of Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker teaming up to go up against Sami Zayn and CM Punk. Now, I gotta tell you, like, you know, as Braun's coming out, I kind of like noticed that Braun has now like kind of toned down. He's kind of like toned down his whole like demeanor. I think because it's like they want him to go for like this very like stoic, very placid, intimidating looking force, whatever that. It's like he doesn't need to be stoic. He doesn't need to be placid. He's already intimidating. He's already a force to be reckoned with. Why does he have to like kind of manufacture this look on his face and his demeanor about himself, whatever like that, when he already looks like he will put a hole in your chest? Like it doesn't have that doesn't need to be happening, whatever may have you. Um, so yeah, I kind of like noticed that like when he was coming out. I gotta say this crowd, I hated this crowd. I hated this crowd because this crowd didn't know who was a face. They didn't know who was a heel. They didn't know who to boo. They didn't know who to cheer. They were very just like all over the place. They were all over the damn place, and I'm like, you all are very annoying. You all are very annoying. I'm sorry. And I know if you live in Tampa, no offense to you, especially if you were at the but if you were at that show, please be offended because I am talking directly to you because yeah, you all were awful tonight. I am so sorry. But I know that does not represent the representation of all Tampanese people. But yeah, but no, that crowd was terrible though. All right, so let's go into it. So, so Breaker, so the match takes place whatever that. It's a lot of just like the straight direct just moves. You know, there's really no psychology in this match whatsoever. There's none, no psychology. There's no story that's being told or anything of that nature. It's just I feel like these four guys got together and were like, let's just go out there and hit our greatest hits. Let's just do the greatest hits. That's it. And then we'll keep doing that until we get to the end of the match. Because that's really what it was. It was just big move set, big move set, big move set, big move set. With commercials spliced in between all those and everything. And I'm just like, okay, what are they trying to convey with to us right now when it comes to like the story arc of this match? Because there was none. It literally was linear. Just go out there, big, boom, hit your big move sets. And also, in this goofy moment, Breaker does this badass cool clothesline to Sami Zayn to the outside. They go over to the commentator's table and they kind of go like on the other side. They tumble on top of the commentator's table onto the other side, right? Here's Pat McAfee. He said, "Whoa, my God, what a move! How is that even possible?" Pat, it's called a clothesline. Dummy. It's called a clothesline. What are you so shocked about? We talk about how is that even possible? It's called a clothesline. What the freak? He said, how is that even possible? I'm like, dog, it's a clothesline. What the freak are you talking about, man? So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, there really wasn't a lot with this match. The crowd, once again, I hate this crowd. They started chanting, "This is awesome," after like a CM Punk knee, high knee. I'm like, y'all starting that "This is awesome" chant from a high knee. I feel like they were just like looking for something to chant at that moment. They're like, okay, let's chant something. Oh, this is awesome. So that's what they started doing and everything. This match really wasn't anything to like really write home about. You're not gonna revisit this match. I guarantee you will not revisit this match. It did end up with Bronson Reed coming out, and he he came out and he took out CM Punk from the outside. He took out CM Punk. He came into the what's called into the match, and him and Seth Rollins, you know what I'm saying, like they had, hey, what's up, man? Him and Seth Rollins, they had a him and Seth Rollins, they kind of had a stare down because if you remember, him and Seth Rollins have some they had history with each other. Remember when Bronson was giving him the tsunami 800 times last fall? So they had kind of like a stare down or whatever like that, but then they started hugging, and then so at first Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker were like giving eye to eye, whatever that like that, but Seth Rollins kind of came in, showed him some love, and so apparently Bronson Reed is now part of this faction with this new Paul Heyman. I'm doing good. How you doing, Brett? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. Doing great, brother. Um, so now Bronson Reed is part of this new Heyman alliance now, along with Braun Breaker and led by Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins, needless to say, has a lot of muscle. He has a lot of size. That's backing him, and it's going to be interesting to hear about hear it more play out on Monday. I'm curious to hear why it is that that Bronson Reed has joined alliances with um with Seth Rollins and them. So because considering the fact that Bronson Reed, the last time we saw him with the Survivor Series when he got hurt, was against Seth Rollins and the rest of the Bloodline team. All right, cool, man. Come through. That's love. Appreciate that. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see, what that's gonna be about and what they're gonna say about it. So, we'll see what happens and everything. But I'm gonna hold judgment until Monday to hear what the reason is, because I am kind of like, okay, what made you decide to align yourself with the man that you were just trying to obliterate just a few months ago, and you had a very, very involved feud with as well too. So we're gonna see about that. All right. Next match, match number 2 is Zelina, the United States Women's Champion, defending her championship up against Chelsea Green. So this is gonna be for the Women's U.S. Championship. Hello there, Dead Rails Elite. Welcome. Very glad you're in the chat. So she's defending her championship up against Chelsea, and she brought the Secret Harvest Dr. Ringside. That name is hilarious. Chelsea's music hits. The crowd goes crazy when Chelsea's music hits. Crowd goes crazy, and she comes out. She does her thing. When it comes to when she's coming down the aisle and all that good stuff and everything like that, she's coming down the aisle. She's getting all the praise, the adulation, and everything as she's getting, from the audience. Hey, what's happening? Theodone? Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate it. Lots of adulation, lots of fanfare, all that good stuff, right? Zelina Vega's music hits. This is what you hear. I am not playing. You heard the grass outside growing. It was deadly silence. I'm like, oh, man. Please believe I am not exaggerating whatsoever about this. It was deadly silence when she came out. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Hello there. Rosalaba. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you. Melissa, that's a great question. I don't know why. People are not connecting with her for some reason. I feel that her United States Championship reign really is kind of like a package deal that they have because Aleister Black is back. And I think it's like, however it was negotiated, because if you know this, she won the title either that same night or a week, either before or after when Aleister came back to SmackDown. So you could tell this was kind of like a favor. And the way they're booking her is not really in the best light. It does not make her look strong whatsoever. Even with that meme going around, showing when she was when her little angle situation is being compared to the whole Bianca, Rhea, and Io situation as well too. So there's that going on and everything. So it's kind of tricked out. Rosalba Sanchez says maybe they just don't want her to be a champion, or they think that she doesn't deserve the championship, and that could be true. But that's the thing though, is that you would think though that tonight was going to be the night that she dropped the title. Like I thought during the match that they were going to make a game time decision and they're going to have her drop the title to Chelsea because Chelsea was getting the responses. She was getting the responses tonight. She wanted okay, so it wasn't saying that when he came back. Okay, I gotcha. But you would think that it was going to happen because if you let this crowd tell it, Chelsea was the face in this fight, and Zelina was just kind of there, in a sense. Zelina, I'm sorry, and I love her. I love Zelina Vega, just like know who she is, but she was sloppy tonight in that ring. Oh my God. Like even so bad that they if you notice when they were doing the opening kind of like the opening movesets for the match, they were using that goofy drone camera. So they're doing it from the angle from the side of the ring and not the traditional like hard camera. They're doing it from the side of the ring. But that angle it showed the moves in a different light where you could kind of like see like the flaws that the flaws were a little more elevated or a little more accentuated, I should say. And Zelina's head scissors, her head scissors that she did, oh my God, it was not good. And I think it was so bad that they cut back to the hard camera and they just like kind of like stayed there for the rest of the time pretty much. The match, going for the traditional shots and everything. Yeah, it could be. So it was that, and also the 619, and it was kind of messed up because during the match they were pontificating a lot about how Zelina was mentored by Rey Mysterio and how she looked up to him and all that good stuff and everything like that. So so it really was. I felt like they were doing that kind of set up the ending of the match because it ended with her hitting that 619, But dude, that 619 looked bad. Like it was really, really, really like soft. It was really bad, and really like, and even the commentators kind of had to clean it up a little bit. Like, oh, she didn't get all that. Oh yeah, we saw. It was like a light tap to the face and everything. Now I don't know if it was that, but it was something that busted up Chelsea's face. Because she had some color. She had a busted up nose and everything. What do you say? Because Vega hasn't really been active in the WWE. But she is the champion. So like if you are holding that belt, you have a different degree of responsibility. I like to see a Cody Rhodes, John Cena running back, Clash of Castle. Okay, yeah, and we'll talk about that. We might see that. They might be setting up for that, considering what we saw later on in the show. So Zelina, she ended up actually winning the match. She pinned Chelsea. It didn't really look too convincing at all. But to be honest with you, y'all, I can't see her having that belt. I can't see her having that belt by SummerSlam. I can't see her having it by August. So I really feel between now and SummerSlam, she's going to be dropping that title, possibly back to Chelsea's green, because if you notice, she also introduced that whole moniker about her second term. And Chelsea is really riding off this whole, let me be very, use a lot of presidential terms and terminology, within my character. Then I can totally see her being like, it's going to be my second term, like her winning the championship and her being like, it's my second term as champion. Instead of being a two-time champion, it's my second term. And I kind of feel like that kind of fits her. So we probably will see that. If not on the SmackDown, we'll probably see that as a Money in the Bank match coming up in a couple of weeks. So, yeah. So we'll see. But Zelina for the victory. Up next, we saw Jimmy Hart. They showed some OGs, some old school guys in the crowd. They showed Jimmy Hart. Melissa, I know you know about Jimmy Hart. You know what I'm saying? Like, you from the old school, so you know what's up. And they showed Luke from the Bushwhacker, Luke Bushwhacker as well too. Now. They were in the audience, so you know how WWE does a whole like, hey, we get the stars out here tonight. Look who's here. So they showed Jimmy Hart. He's doing his thing, so he got the megaphone on like this. So I'm like, hey, baby, yeah. And they showed Luke Bushwhacker next to him, like, And then Luke Bushwhacker went to go do the you know how they do the licks? You know how they do the licks? So he went for the lick on Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart like, man, you don't get your ass off. He like, man, if you don't raise the ball, like he looked like he was not expecting that whatsoever. It was like, dude, get your tongue away from my cheek, all right? You are not a fine woman. If you are not a fine woman, you better raise up, get your tongue away from my cheek. Oh man, but that was hilarious, man. I was cracking up. Man. Oh goodness. So yeah. So anyway. So good times with that. That was good times. Next up was match. What we at? We're at the next match. The next match was. Yeah, we're gonna talk about some shit. John Cena against R-Truth. So I thought this was for the WWE Championship, but apparently it's not. It wasn't. I was like, oh, okay, it's a non-title match. For some reason I thought it was for the championship, and I was talking to shout out to Gerard in the mid-card mess, but there was we were wondering if he was wondering. He was saying like, he'd like to see R-Truth win the championship and then maybe possibly drop the Cena on Monday. But I was like, listen, we're not gonna get that, because last night on SmackDown, R-Truth dropped a really, really, really great promo to sell this match. And it started off with the whole R-Truth stuff, like with the whole little Jimmy stuff and everything like that, gimmick. But there were so many layers that were built upon within the promo, the show, and for R-Truth to even remind everyone as well, too, that, oh no, I do this. And you are going to remember, because Ron the Truth Killings did this at one point in time, dropping those promos that made you say, ooh. So, and that's what we got last night. He dropped a really cold promo that it felt like old school TNA Ron the Truth Killings without all the provocative language. You know what I mean? But it felt that's how it felt. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Because here's my thing. After watching that promo, because I was because I had to watch it on playback. But after watching that promo, I'm like, oh, we got ourselves a vintage Ron the Truth Killings promo. I think we're actually gonna have a match. Now, I'm not looking. Now, I will never, if I'm ever looking for a classic wrestling match, I'm never gonna look in anywhere in the direction where John Cena is residing. Never. However, I felt that we were going to see a match where R-Truth would have been the lead, would have been the proverbial lead of that match, and be able to carry that match and give us something very special that we know that Truth is capable of doing. But what do we get? We got a pile of dog doo-doo. Sorry, we got a pile of dog doo-doo. First of all, I don't get why was somebody help me understand. Maybe you can, Fosbear Edits. Why was Truth dressed like Cena? I don't get that. And why did he come out to the same music as Cena? If he was kind of going for that whole like emulation, I think it would have been even cooler had Truth came out to Word Life instead of Yabba Dabba Doo. But he came out to Yabba Dabba Doo. So I'm like, I don't know what's happening here. And I guess maybe because I just don't like Truth being this whole like I like calling John Cena is my childhood hero. I'm sorry, but y'all like I know that there's humor in pro wrestling. I know it. Like there's elements of pro wrestling that you should not take seriously, that you have fun with. I get that. But like I think that like when you kind of go deeper, sometimes in WWE especially, they take the humor and they go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper with it, where it makes the wrestler look like an imbecile. For a perfect example was a whole Eugene gimmick. Remember Eugene played by Nick Dinsmore, but the whole Eugene gimmick back in 2000 and what was it, 2004 or whatever may have you. Like, oh my God, like they went crazy with that, where he went from just being like someone who represented special needs to just being like a complete imbecile. And I kind of felt like that says a lot about what y'all feel about people with special needs. You know what I mean? Like that says a lot. You know what I mean? Like people with special needs, they can still function, they can still take on responsibility, they can still make independent thoughts, they can still live independent lives. But the way how you're portraying people with special needs with this character, you're making it seem like that they are incapable of doing anything that any other human being can do. And that takes me to this whole R-Truth thing with his quote unquote obsession of John Cena. You're making it seem like this grown ass man had like some kind of very, very effective arrested development where he has the mind of a 6-year-old. And that's how you're making it sound like. And you're making him seem like. And so like that's why last night's promo was so refreshing, because we actually got to see a side of truth that we know is there, that we can actually kind of like, yes, give me that, because that's the truth that we have not seen in so long, but we know is there. So how about giving something different? No, we got him coming out to Yabba Dabba Doo. We got him coming out to, you know, like to doing the music, doing the whole like, you know, the whole knuckle shuffle and all that stuff. And it's like, oh my God, man, like y'all had something so some special opportunity last night to be able to really showcase a side of him that a lot of fans are not very unaware of, and you just threw out the window like, no, we're gonna go back to making him look like a dumbass. And that's what they did. And so the match was awful. And I think the match was no longer than 6 minutes. So this was your typical proverbial Cena burial. You know what I'm saying? And and now, based off of Fosbear's comment earlier, as y'all know, it's over with. It's just done. And it's like, what the hell was that? Like, and this is what I was telling Gerard when I was like, that promo last night, I think is the most that Cena's going to be able to give R-Truth, because he's not going to give him a victory, and for damn sure did not happen. But we sure got this grown ass man, R-Truth, who is, by the way, a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, may I add. Him cosplaying his childhood frat hero, John Cena. I love you, John Cena. So yeah, it was bad. It was bad. And I think the best part of this match was when this crowd, who, yes, I did criticize earlier, but they actually had the wherewithal to actually say and chant well, not all the way collectively, but they chanted to Cena, "You can't wrestle," and he can't. He can't. He doesn't bump. He does not pump at all. He never has been able to wrestle. Never. And what's hilarious was all the goofies who are counteracting, or counter chanting that chant with, "Yes, he can." Oh my God. I'm like, what is this? Oh my goodness. That was it. That was it. That was it. And that match was it. It was awful. Cena hit a what you call it, and it was over with. So on to the next. Wow, like there's so much to unpack here with that, and I'm just saying, like they had an opportunity to do something very different and give us something very different from R-Truth, but they chose the easy way out, and they gave us some fluff, and that's what that was. Next, we saw a promo in the backstage with John Cena and Jey Uso. And John Cena, I don't get it. Like, he I got a question. I got a question for y'all. Back after Elimination Chamber, right? When John Cena turned heel, right? Back then, there was a whole debate among wrestling fans if this was the biggest heel turn since Hollywood Hulk Hogan. There is a degree of an argument for that. But what I was unwilling to tolerate was the argument from other fans that were saying, no, this is not the biggest since Hogan. This is bigger than Hollywood Hulk Hogan. What? That was bigger than the NWO? And I had people really trying to go at me. Now, here's the thing. Now, if you know me, I don't engage in internet back and forth when it comes to wrestling a lot. I don't engage a lot. I did once upon a time, but I don't do that anymore because I don't have the time for it, nor the bandwidth. So I don't really engage with people. But that was worth the conversation. That was worth putting pause on the other things they had going on to have dialogue with other fans to explain to them this comes nowhere near Hollywood Hulk Hogan. This is not bigger than that, let alone coming near it at all. But they were steadfast in their stance, saying 10 toes down, trying to tell me who was outside in '96 when all that went down, trying to tell me that no, this is bigger than Hollywood Hogan. How? Explain that to me. How? Hogan turning heel, forming the NWO in 1996, we still see the impacts and the influence of what took place in 1996 today in 2025. Yeah. Damn, near 30 years later, we still see the impacts of the NWO today. So my whole thing was this. You mean to tell me that what happened at Elimination Chamber with John Cena turning heel, 30 years from now, we are going to see the impacts of that. In 2056, we are going to see the impacts of that heel turn. Okay. I'll be alive. Sorry, I'll be alive. So I'm sorry your feelings, but I will be alive. I want to see. That was back in February. March. Some shit. Here we are, 2 to 3 months later. That impact is dog shit. Nothing. That impact is a joke. That impact is weak sauce. That impact is whack donuts. This heel turn is a failure. This heel turn is an embarrassment. This heel turn damn near is borderline not even a heel turn anymore. I don't even know how to categorize this. But it's bad. And what's also bad with it is that damn acting as well too. Did you hear Cena tonight? Did you hear him? The man sounds robotic when he speaks. Yes, Jey Uso, because when I go out there, I am going to win, and then I'm going to take your world title with me. And I guess fans are trying to or defenders are trying to defend it, saying, well, no, because remember he said he's going to ruin pro wrestling. He already ruined pro wrestling when he signed his first contract with the WWE and got in the ring, because I don't know what the hell he does every time he gets in between those ropes, but he's ruining wrestling every time I watch him attempt to wrestle. That's number one. Number two, this I don't understand it, but it's like you are trying. If you are trying to be like this, this very stoic figure or whatever may have you, your acting is awful. This is more confusing than anything. and it's not. But the thing is, though, is like it's not even like enjoyable to watch. Like it's really not. Like you're not giving fans anything to sink their teeth into to really be able to like say, I'm invested into what your next move is, or I'm invested in the fact that I want to see you lose. You're just kind of like an afterthought. Like you really are. And with you doing this whole farewell tour, you notice that people are like talking about the last match that's going to take place in Boston in December. Why? Because I feel that people are like, all right, I'm over it. I'm over it, dude. I'm over it. They're still and they're still chanting for him. They're still saying yabba dabba doo. They're still saying Cena, let's go Cena. They're still going through all the motions because they're just so used to and they're conditioned to do those things when you come out and everything like that. But when it comes to like your actual character, there's literally no interest or level of investment because the fans have not changed whatsoever when it comes to how they receive you. They haven't changed. They haven't whatsoever. It's still the exact same rigmarole when it comes to like how to be able to receive your presentation. It's the exact same thing. If you watch a pay-per-view, a WWE pay-per-view from like let's say 2011, and you watch what we saw with tonight, the crowd is exactly the same. So that's what I'm saying. Like there is no impact to your heel turn. Now, when Hogan, and let me just make it very crystal clear that I am not advocating for Hulk Hogan whatsoever at all. I think he is slime. I think he is scum. I treat him as something I would find in between my toes on accident. He's nothing to me. However, when we're talking about this element of professional wrestling, when it comes to presentation, when it comes to character, when it comes to history as well too, yeah, I'm going to defend this. I'm going to defend this variable because this variable right here is undeniable. When it comes to Hogan, when Hogan turned heel at Bash the Beach '96, that because Hogan was not on Nitro the next night. He wasn't. But they used that Nitro to advertise that Hogan will be back on Nitro the next week. So that next week when he was on Nitro, the next time we saw Hogan, when he came out, when they were still at that remember they were doing like the whole like beach setup thingy or whatever like that after Bash to the Beach. But when Hogan came out and he had on a black bandana, black sunglasses, a black cutoff t-shirt, and black tights on or whatever, and black boots. When he came out, black head to toe. And that's very ironic from him. But when he came out dressed in all black, coming out to that ring, that man got booed. That man got booed. Every person in the crowd was booing him. Every person. He came out cocky, arrogant, just like, like the hell away from me, all that good stuff as a heel. And the crowd knew how to receive it, and the crowd knew how to give it back to them. This is not what's going on with John Cena whatsoever. We're getting the exact same thing. That's why that was game changing, because that was the first time in 1996 ever in some of our lives, the first time that we ever uttered a boo in the direction of Hulk Hogan, or even heard boos hurling into his direction. That was the first time we ever heard that or experienced that. And I'm not counting his AWA days. That's for the super OGs to appreciate, and I don't follow that category. But for some of us, that was the very first time we experienced that, and that was surreal. This whole thing with Cena just feels like y'all was going through the motions. Y'all was going through it. So yeah, please don't ever bring up that John Cena's heel turn is on the level of Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Ever. Carissa Will, girl! What's happening, lady? Pretty solid match too. I love you, kid. I was looking at that. Oh, but yeah, but no, I'm glad you had a good time though with it, Steve. I'm glad you had a good time. But that's what I'm saying. Don't ever bring that up again. Never. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. The next match, we are talking about the cage match. It's the steel cage from hell. The steel cage match between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Once again, the booking for this match was very similar to the booking of the first match. It was a lot of just go out there, just do the greatest hits, just do your hits, boom, boom, move set, boom, boom, boom. It was just move set after move set after move set. There really wasn't any type of like story arc or build or anything of that nature. Now, what I will tell you was the highlight of this match. Oh my God. You want to talk about a gem in just like in a pool full of mud. A gem in the pool full of mud was Jesse the Body Ventura on commentary. Oh my God. Jesse was like, he was like challenging all of like the rules of engagement and laws when it came to the standardized WWE commentary, and it was refreshing. Oh my God. Like it was so refreshing. It was so refreshing that that it made Michael Cole and Pat McAfee freaking uncomfortable for real. You know what I'm saying? It was so good. All right, where we go? We gotta go to a wrestling. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Absolutely, I agree. And I miss you more, kiddo, for real. I miss you more. But so yeah, so it made them uncomfortable, and when they're uncomfortable, I was very comfortable. Let me tell you. Jesse was over here. He was dropping science. He was talking like, talking about the consistency of the rap. Like he was talking about a lot of psychology that goes around within the match elements. They talk about the consistency of the ref's count and how important that is, because if it's inconsistent, it throws off the wrestler. And then here's Michael Cole. Referees are all different. He's like, yes, I understand that, but there is also, but they need to be consistent in terms of like the way how their cadence is, so the wrestlers can understand like when to get up. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, they not ready for this, G. Jesse, they not ready for this conversation. They are not ready for a conversation about professional wrestling. They are not here, not now. They are not. I know Cole and McAfee were sweating, especially during when they were announcing when the following contest this is us cage match. When the ring announcer was going into the match and everything, Jesse was still talking. Oh man, bro, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And he was also talking about how he was like, they're gassed. You can tell they're gassed. They are blown up. They are gassed. And once again, Cole and McAfee trying to clean it up, and just like, no, look at them. You can tell they're gassed. Like he was like pointing all that out as well too. And even challenging, he challenged the end of the match when Damian Priest did the concerto to what's his name, Drew McIntyre. Now I don't watch SmackDown, but is Damian Priest a heel or a face? I thought he was a face, but it was like he was the heel and McIntyre was the face, but I thought McIntyre was a heel. So somebody's gotta help me out there. I don't know. But anyway, he did the concerto to Priest. I'm sorry, to McIntyre. To McIntyre. He's a face. Hey Carissa, who's a face? Is Damian Priest a face, or is Drew McIntyre a face? Because it seemed like it was reversed. So he did the concerto to Drew, and then he kind of gave him this goofy look on his face, and then he just walked out the cage. And Jesse was like, hold on. Oh, Priest the face? Word? Wow. I could not tell. I could not tell in that match. I could not tell. That was the Freaky Friday match. That was the Freaky Friday because Priest to me looked like the heel and Drew looked like the face in that match. So I don't know. Maybe that was the Stone Cold Bret Hart match from WrestleMania 13 when they switched roles in the middle of the match for no reason. I was kidding. No, the crowd made that happen. I was there. So anyway, no, he walked out and he just walked out. And just like, huh? That's it? Jesse's on commentary saying, that's it? And here comes Captain Save-A-Ho, Michael Cole, talking about, well, you say yourself, you gotta do whatever you say, you gotta win. And Jesse said, that was anticlimactic. He just walked out the cage. He could have actually put some effort or make it more heroic, make it more picturesque, make it more dramatic, make it more seem like that it was actually worth something by climbing over the top and onto the floor, actually make it seem like it was a victory well earned. He just walked out. Did he also call his limo to come pick him up? I freaking love Jesse because not only is he dropping them jewels, but he's also using like super 1987 terms like limo. You know, I love it. I freaking love it. This was the best part of the night right here. Was Jesse the Body Ventura's commentary during the cage match. It was vainglorious, everyone. Vainglorious. Type out vainglorious in the comments if you agree. But that was so great. So yeah, so Damian Priest ended up winning the match by just simply walking out of the cage. Oh my God, that was so great. All right, finally, we're at the main event of the night. This is for the World Heavyweight Championship. This is Jey Uso, who is defending the World Heavyweight Championship against the challenger, Logan Paul. And my question is, why did Jey Uso come out first? Why? Melissa, he's your baby daddy. Why did he come out first? Jey is the World Heavyweight Champion. He's defending his World Heavyweight Championship title on Saturday night's main event, which, by the way, is a very historic broadcast from a wrestling standpoint, especially with the WWE. Jey was pursued by the challenger originally for this championship. He was called out by said challenger for the championship. Jey responds to the challenge from Logan Paul saying, I will defend my championship against you. It seems like every time Logan Paul gets like a significant, like he gets a victory, he always gets rewarded with a title opportunity. So, whatever. So, blow the conversation. But Jey was pursued. On some like prize fighting type stuff, if the challenger makes a challenge to the champion, the challenger initiated the fight, right? The challenger is the one saying, I'm calling you out, champion. I'm calling you out, sir or ma'am. Let me phonetically break this down. I am calling you out here to meet me and bring your championship. So we go to tonight, and once again, I ask the question to you, everyone watching. Why did the champion come out first? And yes, I get it. Maurice, you kind of like nitpicking a little bit, whatever like that. I get that, but when terms of this, the the traditional variables of a one-on-one bout of combat, if a challenger is calling out a champion, the challenger is telling the champion, come out and meet me here. In this case, it would be Logan Paul saying, Jey Uso, come out to the ring, bring the championship with you, and meet me in the ring. I want to have combat against you for said world championship. But Jey Uso comes out first? Why? That made no sense. Jey Uso wasn't the one who was calling out Logan Paul. Jey Uso wasn't the one who was saying, "Who come out and beat me out here." That didn't happen. Anyway, I looked at the time. The time said it was 8:51 when that match started. I was like, "There's no way in the world they're going to do anything in 9 minutes." There's not. There's not. So I'm not. I'm not even. I'm not even. Yeah. I'm not even invest myself into this. But once again, just playing the hits. Let's just hit our big spots. No type of like psychology. No kind of build up. No kind of story arc or anything of that nature. None of that shit happened. It was just hitting the big spots, whatever you can. Logan, and of course Pat McAfee. I'm sorry. He loves to dick ride Logan Paul. I am so sorry. He loves to dick ride Logan Paul. It is very clear that that you love his dirty draws, bro. You are in love with that man's dirty draws. That is very clear because you will not stop popping it for him. Wow, just the way how he cakes for him is wild to me. Like, bro, you really are Captain Save-A-Ho when it comes to that man. Chill, damn. And it was very clear tonight. And I'm sorry, but and like people always try to sell me on how great he is. He's not. He's not great. He's athletic, yes, but he's not a great ring wrestler. And you can't convince me about that. Because even tonight, there was still some sloppy ass moves he was doing to try to overcompensate, and it was not connecting. The match ended with John Cena coming out once again, and he attacked Jey Uso. No, he pulls the referee out. He attacks Jey Uso. I guess a pull out from the referee means the referee is knocked out for 2 minutes because that's pretty much what happened. And then Cody Rhodes is back apparently, and he came out and he beat up John Cena and Logan Paul to put him in the position where Jey Uso was able to get the advantage and hit him with an offensive move and get the win, the 1-2-3 victory. I guess the referee was knocked out from a pull out. And then after the match, Cody Rhodes says he announces. I guess because when you're gone for a month or so, for 6 weeks, you're able to book matches because he said that he said you and Logan Paul against me and Jey Uso have Money in the Bank. And of course, the crowd ate it all up. And I'm just like, John Cena, when he did that very robotic promo in the back a little while ago, he was talking shit about Logan Paul, which I'm okay with, obviously. But I was like, he's gonna attack with him? Whatever. So yeah, so apparently that's what happened. So it's gonna be a tag team match at Money in the Bank. Logan Paul and John Cena against Jey Uso and Dusty Rhodes' son. Yeah, I agree with you, Carissa. He's extremely overrated. He shouldn't even be rated at whatsoever. I just don't see the appeal in him. I think people are trying to like make him into something, but I really truly do fear, just based on the direction that they're going in the WWE, that they are going to make him the world champion one day. And I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yes, that's what's gonna happen. So we're gonna see about that though. So, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so that was Saturday night's main event. That was the end of the show. What were your thoughts? Did you like it? Was it a classic to you all? Does it hold up to the OGs that happened back in the '80s? Or was pretty subpar? Does Lena Vega match felt like a house show match to me, and most of the stuff felt like it was just all just hey, just go out there, hit the greatest hits, and let's get out of here. You know what I mean? So it felt a lot like that to me as well too. But I want to hear your thoughts, your feelings about it. Drop it in the comments. Drop it in the comments here on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, whatever may have you. But we would like to hear what your feedback is, and I will guarantee I will get back to you all about it as well too. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to wrap things up. That is the end of tonight's show. I'm about to wrap things up. I'm gonna finish off this water, probably make me a beverage, probably have me a gummy or whatever they have. You can't take all the drugs. I'm gonna watch some more of this New Japan Pro Wrestling, and check this out. Join me. I will be live tomorrow night. I will be live tomorrow night for I will be live tonight if I can talk. I will be live for tomorrow night after AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view as well too. I am so hyped. Carissa is so hyped, y'all, for NXT and the new AEW pay-per-view tomorrow. That's what I'm talking about. See, it is a big wrestling day tomorrow on pay-per-view Sunday. So it's gonna be good times. Obviously, I won't be watching NXT, but I will be watching AEW. So yes, so please join me tomorrow night if you want to talk about AEW Double or Nothing. Good Lord, that is hard having that W and the double right there next to each other and be able to say it and everything like that. But I will be live and be able to chop it up about that. If you want to come in here, let's talk about AEW. If you want to come here and talk about NXT as well too, it's all good. Carissa, I know you're gonna be watching. You're gonna be watching Deep, so come in here tomorrow, chop it up with us. Let us know how NXT was. Grace Bear winning. So is she wrestling? Who is the NXT Women's Champion right now? Because I know Stephanie Vacour, right? Oh, so it's Stephanie Vacour against Jordan Grace tomorrow night. Okay. Let's get it, JG. Y'all know JG is a friend of the show, a friend of B-Side Studios. If you don't believe me, I got the photos to prove it. But shout out to Jordan Grace, you know what I'm saying? Good luck tomorrow night. Heck yeah. Get that victory and everything like that. I like me some Stephanie though. I like Stephanie a lot. Stephanie's a hell of a talent. I was watching some old Stephanie Vacour matches when she had a little stint in CMLL. And had her running there and everything like that. And that woman can go. So that's gonna be a really great match between those two. So shout out to both those ladies. They're gonna put on a hell of a contest tomorrow night. And just shout out to everyone else as well who joined in tonight's conversation. We had a lot of cool new faces that came in tonight's conversation. So I really do appreciate you guys for joining in, chiming in with your comments and your thoughts and your suggestions and your opinions on things. That was awesome seeing you guys. So thank you so much to the new viewers. Please feel free to follow us. Follow B-Side Studios here on YouTube, here on Twitch, or here on I don't know why I'm about to say PayScale for some reason, but Facebook. What is PayScale? Yeah, so follow us on here and everything. Joe Henry versus Trick will be a good match. Okay, let's see. You'll see what happens. You know what I mean? So, hopefully that'll be a good match for those two gentlemen as well, too. But please feel free to follow us on our socials. We have a lot of content that we've done in the past. And let me tell you, we have a hell of a lot of content that we have coming up in the future as well, y'all. So trust me when I tell you, we are not playing around. Also, exclusive, a brand new episode of The Nerdium. The brand new episode of The Nerdium, hosted by ET, is dropping this Monday night on Memorial Day evening. This Monday night, a brand new episode of The Nerdium. You want to talk about anime, you want to talk about comic books, graphic novels, horror movies, all that good stuff, cosplay. You want to tune into The Nerdium. She covers all that good stuff, and we have a brand new episode coming for you. So check it out, y'all. Brand new episode tonight at the 23rd hour. Brand new episode 23rd hour tomorrow night after Double or Nothing. Brand new episode of the Nerdium dropping Monday. And of course, we got the B-side. We got the B-side flashbacks, the B-side rewinds that will be taking place all week next week, along with part 2 of my interview with the gentleman from the Alan and DJ show as well. That's dropping on Wednesday. So yeah, y'all, we have a packed week of content coming to you all. It is going to be lit. It is going to be amazing. It's going to be atrociously delicious. And I want all of y'all to be a part of this. Carissa, have a great night as well, too. I cannot wait to see you tomorrow in the chat as well, too. Everyone, I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the evening. Enjoy your Saturday night. Please make sure you be well, be safe, be kind of one another, and continue to be the excellent ones that you always are. I will see y'all tomorrow night after Double or Nothing. Have a great night. Be safe. Be cool. I'm out.